Some outfits in The Simpsons are so strange or unforgettable that they leave you wondering, what were they thinking? Over the decades, the show has dressed its characters in everything from ridiculous disguises to fashion disasters. So, here are the worst outfits in Simpsons history, each one explained in full detail. Homer was never good at being subtle, but when he walked out in that wild Florida shirt in 3 Gays of the Condo, it felt like he was trying to talk with colors instead of words and somehow still saying nothing. It was all neon pink, bright turquoise, palm trees, and the word Florida stretched across his chest in big letters that looked like they came from a souvenir shop having a breakdown. It wasn't really a shirt. It was more like a loud, clumsy attempt at showing support for the gay community, one no one asked for. He was trying to look cool, open-minded, maybe even stylish, but it went wrong right away. He looked like a tourist gift shop had dressed him during an emergency. The shirt didn't help him, it trapped him. You could almost see how hard he was trying, and somehow the worst part wasn't even the colors. It was the reaction from everyone else, like they didn't know whether to laugh, cringe, or cover their eyes. But Homer wasn't the only one whose clothes became something bigger than clothing. Marge found one single Chanel dress in scenes from the class struggle in Springfield, and what started as a lucky moment turned into a slow identity crisis. That dress was simple, stylish, and fit her perfectly. For a moment, she fit in with the rich crowd, but then she started changing it. She sewed, she adjusted, she cut and reshaped it for every new event. Each time, it was meant to help her belong, but instead of blending it, she started standing out and not in a good way. The more she edited it, the less it looked like fashion and more like it looked like panic made out of fabric. The dress lost its charm, and slowly, so did she. It wasn't just the adults who had clothing problems. Lisa's outfit in Kamp Krusty told a story all on its own. She walked out in a red, white, and blue outfit for a camp performance, covered in stars, stripes, and fake cheer. But this wasn't Lisa. This was the girl who read science reports for fun. Now, stuck pretending to enjoy fake patriotism, it felt wrong, like someone gave her glitter and told her to act happily. They wanted her to represent America, but instead, she looked like someone who already knew the truth and didn't want to play along. The smile didn't fit, the clothes didn't match, she wasn't glowing, she was covered up. If Lisa's sparkly costume felt like betrayal, then Bart's matching band uniform and Bart's girlfriend was a total hit to the gut. The classic Bart, the prank-loving, slingshot-carrying rebel, was gone. In his place stood a kid in stiff fabric, shiny buttons, and a hat so big it covered half his face. He had to carry a tuba that was almost bigger than he was. It wasn't just bad clothing. It felt like someone took everything fun about Bart and locked it up inside itchy cloth. He looked lost. Even when he got embarrassed, there was no way out. The episode ended, and he was still wearing it. No joke, no twist, just a quiet defeat. The clothes had won. But when it comes to dressing up gone wrong, nothing beats Mr. Burns pretending to be Jimbo Jones in Who Shot Mr. Burns? Part 2. The image is hard to forget. Skinny legs stuffed into saggy pants, a backwards hat barely holding onto his head, and a chain so fake it made noise when he moved. He didn't just look strange, he looked haunted, like a ghost trying to join a skateboarding crew. Of course, the outfit was part of the plan, but that wasn't the scary part. The scary part was how close he came to fooling people. No one noticed right away, and maybe that's what made it worse. The disguise was clearly fake, but nobody paid attention. It wasn't just bad fashion, it was a weird kind of warning. Still, Homer wouldn't let himself be beaten when it came to awful clothing. In king-size Homer, he took it even further with the Moon Moo Moo. It was blue and purple covered in flowers and looked like something you'd throw over a couch. He wore it while trying to work from home, saying it was easier. But the Moo Moo didn't say comfort. It shouted, I give up. It wasn't just big, it looked like a curtain with sleeves. Homer's belly hung out, the fabric flapped with every move, and the house around him got quieter. The clothes didn't free him, they turned him into part of the furniture. Then came Lisa again, in Dude, Where's My Ranch? Trying to enjoy a vacation, but her outfit made it impossible. She had on a floral shirt, wraparound sunglasses, a lei, and a fake smile. She didn't look like a happy tourist. She looked like someone who lost a bet. The outfit was supposed to show fun, but it clashed with everything Lisa believed in. And it didn't just look bad, it made her look trapped. You could tell just by the way she stood that she wanted to disappear and delete any photos that proved she wore it. Back in town, Mo gave his own fashion disaster and Papa's got a brand new badge. He tried to reinvent himself with a tight white suit, shiny gold chain, and hair slicked back like he dipped his head in engine oil. Moo had always been a little desperate, but this was a new kind. He looked like a magician from a cheap casino who got kicked off stage but refused to go. The outfit was supposed to say, "I've changed," but all it said was, "I'm still trying too hard." The suit didn't scream style, it whispered confusion. Then there was Homer as Pie Man in the Bart Mangled banner. He tried to be a superhero who threw pies at bad guys, but the costume looked more like a food fight, exploded and stuck to him. He had a whipped cream helmet and a floppy cape that didn't know where to land. He wasn't scary. He wasn't brave. He looked like a dessert that ran away from a bakery. No one was inspired. No one was impressed. The outfit just made people hungry or uncomfortable. Not far from that mess were Patty and Selma, trying out lingerie in Homer and Apu. They giggled, they posed, they wore bright red nightgowns like they were in a strange fashion show. But the scene didn't feel romantic or even funny. It felt awkward, like a joke that went too far. The clothes weren't really the problem. It was the way everything around them felt out of place. Like someone was making fun of a moment that was never meant to be serious in the first place. It wasn't sexy. It was a punchline that no one wanted to explain. Then came Skinner, dressed in a full cow costume during Lard of the Dance. Not for a prank, not even for Halloween, just to make kids happy at a school dance. He stood there, mood on cue, and looked like he wanted to disappear. It was sad. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was trying to help. But in the end, it just made him look smaller, like he gave up on being respected and settled for being background noise. Nobody laughed. Not the kids, not Agnes, not even Skinner himself. The cowsuit didn't entertain. It made him invisible. The sadness kept growing when Krusty showed up for a date in insane clown poppy. He wore hot pink gym shorts, a see-through tank top, and knee-high socks. He said he was relaxed, but he looked like a fitness coach from the 80s who lost his job and never changed clothes again. The outfit didn't say, "I'm chill." It said, "I'm falling apart." No one knew if it was supposed to be a joke. Maybe that was the real joke, that the clothes said everything he couldn't. And somehow, after all of that, came one last image that nobody was prepared for. Martin Prince in a Speedo and a cape. Martin Prince wearing a Speedo and a cape was never going to be subtle. In Lisa's Substitute, he walks into class like he thinks confidence is enough to carry an outfit. But the class doesn't laugh. They don't tease him either. They just go quiet because the outfit isn't funny. It's confusing. A tight blue Speedo with only a red cape flying behind him, like a swimmer who stopped halfway and decided to become a superhero. The teacher looks shocked. The students freeze. Even Lisa, who usually sees the good in weird kids, doesn't know how to react. It wasn't brave. It wasn't silly. It was something else entirely. A moment where the clothes had no meaning, yet somehow said too much. No one had a name for what he was wearing, and that made it impossible to forget. If Martin's Speedo left people confused, Comic Book Guy's latex suit in Future Drama took things to another level. It was meant to look futuristic, a smooth, high-tech jumpsuit with a breathing tube and padded armor. But it ended up looking like Darth Vader's costume had melted and been rebuilt by someone who loved anime a little too much. It squeaked when he walked, he didn't stride, he shuffled. And the outfit felt like a mix between science fiction and a silent cry for attention. The saddest part was that he wore it with pride, as if he thought the worst thing that could happen was looking strange but being ignored. The suit didn't make him look cool, it made him look trapped in his own world, a world no one else wanted to visit. Back in the present, Grandpa Simpson had his own fashion disaster. In 2001 Greyhounds, he showed up for a wedding wearing a tuxedo that must have been stitched together decades ago and left untouched ever since. The jacket hangs off him like a sheet. The flower is tapped to his lapel. His belt is broken, so his pants keep sliding. It's not just that the suit doesn't fit, it's that this tells a story. You can't tell if he's going to a party or a funeral. Maybe both. He looks like he forgot who died and just dressed for every possible event. The outfit has more wrinkles than he does, and somehow you feel sorry for it, not because of how it looks, but because of what it's trying to hold on to. He still wants to look like a groom, even if the years won't let him. Then there's Milhouse, and Milhouse never really stood a chance. In Whacking Day, he auditions for a commercial while dressed as a giant grape. Not a funny grape, not a cartoon grape, just big purple foam balls glued all over him like fruit-themed armor. He could barely move. He stumbles onto the stage, trips over his own stem, and then he cries. Not a small sniffle. He breaks down completely while the jingle plays behind him. The costume was never made to be cute. It was embarrassing, and it did its job. You can see it on his face. The moment childhood loses its magic. Not with a broken toy, not with a bad grade, but with a fruit costume and a crowd watching. What made all these outfits worse wasn't just how they looked, it was what they showed. Clothes in The Simpsons are often louder than words. Lisa's pageant dress made her look like a stranger in her own skin. Bart's band outfit made him look obedient. Moe's white suit made him look like he was trying to impress someone who would never notice him. And Grandpa's tux? That one said everything about growing old and trying to look like someone you no longer are. The worst outfits in The Simpsons were never just about colors or style. They were about honesty. They showed fears, dreams, and disappointments without anyone having to say a word. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel.